30-minute rivals, another segment. Got with me as always, Johnny Yoden. We'll be talking about the ReliaQuest Bowl today, doing previews, players that we want to see. Before we get into that, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Get this out to all of your resident football fans, whether that be Ohio State, Michigan, any other Big Ten team. Shoot it out to them. Sorry, we got to run all this back, brother, but tell me quickly about your holiday season again. Man. How's everything been going?
It was good. Got to relax, and watch football, of course, and ready for the playoff, ready to watch Michigan. And I will be in the house for the ReliaQuest Bowl.
For sure. Glad to have some representation there. Should have some good weather in Tampa, so everything looks great. I was gonna say it's a interesting setup because we've got some key players that are still playing on both sides, some key players that are missing on both sides. Obviously, the transfer of Justice Haynes to Michigan will have Alabama, a little bit hurt in the backfield. Offense is always hurting for Michigan right now, so that'll be what it is. But they got a lot of defenders, right? Guys that are coming back from their senior season: Ernest Hausman, Rashawn Benny, just to name a few. So I know we were talking a little bit before we started about wanting to see guys like Jordan Marshall. Talk a little bit about him and who else you'd be looking to see here in the ReliaQuest Bowl.
Yeah, I want to see Jordan Marshall. We haven't seen him get more than probably 5 carries. I want to see him get about 10 carries. I want to see Ben Hall get about 10 and, ride with the hot hand. Like you said, we got Justice from Bama. So we know kind of what he can do for next year. I want to see that second back give us some spotlight on, okay, we got the 2-headed monster right there, and maybe 3. Let's go for a 3-headed.
Can't have too many.
Exactly. So that's what I want to see, the running backs, that haven't got the carries. It's your turn. Let's get it going. Also, I want to see Jaden Davis, bro.
Man,
I want to see him. I don't know if we will, but I want to see him. Like
I said it last week, I'll say it again. There is really no reason for us to see Davis Warren in this game. Again, no disrespect. No disrespect. My man got a win on Ohio State. He's got respect for me forever. If I ever see Davis Warren out at the bar, he got a beer on me. But in this game, going into this offseason, going into the season, there is no reason, none. Because realistically, is Davis Warren going to be involved in the conversation to start at Michigan next year at quarterback? He's not.
No.
So it would really serve us to see what, like you said, what Jaden Davis can do versus a Power 5 competitor in a competitive situation. Let's see what he can do. Let the kid play. Let's see it.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that's where they're leaning. I at the beginning of practice last week, they had him slotted as the backup. I can only hope. I can only hope that between Chip Lindsey, who recruited Jaden Davis out of high school, between Steve Kasula, who has been the acting offensive coordinator since the departure of Kirk Campbell, and Sharon Moore, that they come to the conclusion that even after getting Mikey Keene, they come to the conclusion that the 2 most viable options out of this room right now might be the young guys. It's going to be Jaden Davis and Bryce Underwood. We can't play Bryce right now, but we can play Jaden Davis to see where we're at, see what we got. Use this time to do that. It would be the biggest
smart thing.
Yeah, it would be the biggest mistake to me for them to play Davis Warren through the majority of this game, win or lose. Even if we're up, win or lose, play Davis Warren the majority of this game. There's nothing to be gained by that at this point. So I also want to see Jaden Davis. And by the way, the throwing motion that I seen in the practice film that I saw looks fine. Looks great.
Yeah, it looks fine. I don't know what was going on in the clip.
Yeah. That's why I didn't want to put too much into the practice film, because number one, I don't know if he still plays like that. And we weren't even getting enough from the clips to see what was actually going on. So the stuff that we saw in live action looks fine. I would like to see it in game and see how he does. Any defenders that you're looking at?
Not too much. Most of the guys have been playing for the most part, but I want to see how TJ Guy does starting. You
Mhm.
know, him coming back, Derek Moore coming back. Derek Moore's a starter. We
Yeah.
know. We just want him to take that next jump next year. It's your turn. But I want to see how TJ Guy does. I think TJ Guy has the potential to be a monster,
Yeah.
like an Ojabo type season where you getting almost 10 sacks, 8, 9, 10 sacks up into the real upper echelon of
Yeah.
pass rush.
Yeah.
So I really want to see how he does. Mason Curtis, want to see some more of him. But it's
Yeah.
kind of this, all the young guys. The defense is really just the young guys, seeing them grow more. I won't say just a specific guy that I've been waiting on, but just as a collective, all the young dudes, because
All of them.
defense is it's a unit.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to see a little bit of Eno Etta. I'd like to see him play a
Yeah,
little bit
yeah,
more. That's a name that we've been waiting on to pop here for a couple of years. Also Dominic Nichols, right? We've been talking about who's going to plug into that fourth edge spot. We'd like it to come from a younger person in that room. A Lugert Edipaye, a Devin Baxter, a Dom Nichols, somebody
hmm
like that. I'd love to see one of those guys have a good game here. Same thing in the secondary, right? We've like you said, we've got guys that have been in flux. We already got young guys playing. If there is a name out there that I would like to see hit the field, it would be Josiah Edmond. I'd like to see him get a little bit of playing time. But you're right. It's more of a unit thing for the defense, and a lot of those young guys have mixed in throughout the season, right? Roderick Pierce and multitude of guys. Jimmy Roller is going to obviously get his
yeah,
play.
yeah,
I wonder if they're going to start early with moving Barham down to the edge and start working him into that rotation and just letting Jimmy Roller play. That'll be interesting to see if who they
yeah.
actually
Because
tried
it
out
looks
there.
like when we started to click more on defense, that they started that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You saw them rushing him more, whether it was inside or outside.
We're out. Yeah.
He,
Yeah.
he was rushing a lot.
Yep.
Like you don't think you just
Just go. Go.
you just
Yeah,
go.
go. Yeah, no, that's probably the best strategy, to be honest with you. Offensively, I want to see if what we were doing in the tight end room, right? Obviously, the flip of Andrew Olish at the end of this cycle, you had a swing and the miss on the number one tight end in the portal with Max Clare. He's going
Mhm.
to Ohio State, so most of the communication I've been getting from fans and what it seemed like is it's the communication on the beat is, oh well, Michigan's deep at tight end. Michigan doesn't really need to bolster the room right now. Okay, well then I'd like to see that prove itself true. Obviously,
That
we
that
got we
that's
got
true.
Marlon Klein, we got Hogan
And they hyped us
Hansen.
up about him. I'm still disappointed by that. They hyped
Yeah,
us up, and he ain't did much this year, bro.
the
And
production isn't there. I think the
and
traits are still there. I think a better
yeah,
offense, I think better quarterback play will get more out of Marlon Klein. But even still, even him aside, there are a lot of young guys in that room who have yet to get an opportunity to show what they can do. Brady Prescorn's been hurt, hasn't really played all season. Zach Marshall is just kind of there. He's
mhm.
I don't know what he's doing at this point other than just kind of being the cheerleader for the team. I would hope he would establish himself in this offseason because he's ahead of Prescorn and Hansen. So to see
Yeah,
them playing before him is a little same thing with Deacon Tonielli. I know he's dealt with injuries in his time there at Michigan, but you want to start seeing these guys get on the field when they ought to, when they should, when they have the opportunity. And then when they do, it'll kind of give us a measuring stick of what to expect for them in the next year. Um, do you think that they will conceptually, do you think that they'll do anything with the formations or how they call the game to start leaning towards Chip Lindsey's offense, or is this going to be more of what we've seen throughout the season this year, even after Campbell's gone?
that's a good question. Honestly, I'm not sure. It ain't been that much time to try to install something new.
Something new,
You,
yeah.
you might want to sprinkle some little things in there, maybe, which I think you probably will sprinkle some things, but it's too late in the season and not enough time to really make
Hmm.
big changes. So you'll probably see some things that we already do that he likes to do. You probably see
Hmm.
some of that sprinkled in there. but I think it's going to be more of the same from Michigan's offense for the most part, you know.
Yeah, I think formationally a lot of the stuff is going to be the same. I think maybe the difference we'll see is play selection, probably, or we can hope. That should be the biggest difference between what we got throughout the regular season and going into this bowl game. You talk about having 15 practices. You talk about having that month and a half off. Also going away from a guy that you felt like was putting you in bad positions with his play calling. I'm
Mhm.
sure Sharon Morris had a heavy influence. I don't imagine him letting Steve Kasula run crazy, even though he's not gonna have that job in a month. So
Yeah.
um, I imagine that he's had a heavy hand in formulating the game plan and will probably play a role in calling the plays when the game is going on. Um, so we'll probably see two things. We'll see how much better it probably could have been if we'd have made that change throughout the season, but also it should give us a little bit more confidence going into the offseason that the guys running the shit now are at least competent. Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'd
Yeah.
like to see. I don't have any type of targets in terms of production or anything like that, but just a more competent offense. I don't want to be scratching my head every third down on why we call that play.
Exactly. And that made the season so hard. There
Yeah.
was a lot of head scratching, in these games, big time moments, even when the offense hasn't been playing well, but they're they're playing well this drive. They're playing
Yeah.
well this second half. And
Yeah.
then it's a big time moment and it's a head scratching play.
Hmm.
We had a lot of that this season.
Yeah.
And you just can't have that. And having Chip Lindsey to the staff, one thing I know about him is he doesn't care how he gets it done. So that's what
Yeah.
I can really appreciate about
True.
him.
I guess one other thing I'll probably be looking at this is offensive line. I think we got a lot of young offensive linemen that expect to play next year, but Michigan isn't done shopping in the portal. So who's going to pop out? I think Greg Crippen and probably Giovanni Elhadi's spots are safe.
Yeah.
Outside of that, left guard, left tackle, right tackle, all of that is open. I want to see. I want to see not Gentry, Andrew Sprague. I want to see Big Ben Roebuck. Haven't heard his name since he hit campus. Want to see what he's doing. Jake Guarnera. Um, all the guys left. All the guys that didn't
Yeah.
leave. I want to see what you got. Want to see what you got. Want to see exactly how much work we got to do. Are we gonna have to hit this portal again in the spring to try to fill out the offensive line? On top of the freshmen that you expect to bring in with Babaloa and Caden Strayhorn and maybe a guy like Ty Hamilton.
Do you
So you
think
need to know.
Babalola do you think Babalola will start next year?
I think the idea is for that to be a no, but he's the number 2 tackle in the country right now. Number 2 tackle coming out in the 2025 class. So certainly has the talent to do so. But you talk
And
about, okay,
he looks the part too.
yeah, he looks good. Evan Link, Andrew Sprague, Tristan Bounds, and Andrew Gentry are both gone. You got Brady Norton, who may end up playing tackle, or end up playing guard. So even if, let's say, they get the guy from Washington State, that's not including the freshman class. That's only 1, 2, 3. Sprague. You got Sprague, Roebuck, Link. Frazier's probably going to play guard. Gatch is probably going to play guard. And the Washington State guy, that's only 4 tackles.
Yeah.
He beats one of those guys out, he's in the rotation. So he's not far from it. I could say he could do it. I don't expect it.
Man, it's
I think
always
he's a
hard.
left tackle guy too. You want him to be ready to play left.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't want him protecting the quarterback and he's still doing Evan Link like things.
Turnstile.
Right. It's tough, I guess, for young linemen to get acclimated to the speed of college athletes, right? They didn't They didn't have to guard guys that could run 4.6 or 4.5. They weren't guarding that. They weren't defending against
No.
that in high school. Now you got legitimate skill athletes running on the other side of you. Oh, and by the way, they 250 pounds. So
Yeah.
it's just a different animal altogether. It'll take some time. But if I had to pick a freshman off the offensive line who could start first, I would pick Babaloa. I'd pick him over Hamilton. I'd pick him over Strayhorn. I'd pick him over Gatch. I think he's
Yeah.
the most ready to play of all of them.
Yeah, because he is his body. He looks like he's about in college.
And the way he plays too, he's a nasty player. He's
Yeah.
nasty. He has a mean streak. He wants to drive guys' faces into the turf. I like that in him. Attitude fits, build is there. Just how soon does he get acclimated to the new speed of the game will be my only question.
Well,
Any go, you go.
Michigan's offensive line coach, what's his name? It's
Newsom, Grant Newsom.
Newsom. Yeah, Grant Newsom. What would you say he did? Would you say he did good this year?
As the year went on, I think that they got better. It was
They
really
did.
rough early on in the season. It was really rough and early on in the season. I think one thing you got to look at, especially with offensive line, and this has happened a couple times over with Michigan. We went from, I don't even remember who our offensive line coach was before Ed Warner, but we went from that guy to Ed Warner, and it didn't have an immediate impact. It was like maybe year 2, year 3 of Ed Warner when guys kind of start coming around and start getting a little bit better. And then Ed Warner gets fired. They go to Sharon Moore. We win a Joe Moore Award. Right.
Too.
And so I guess a layman's perspective would tell you that, oh, Sharon Moore changed the room around. Well, that's only the case if you haven't been looking at how they've been steadily progressing year over year.
Yeah, yeah,
I will argue that first Joe Moore Award in 2021 was just a culmination of what they had done together, Moore and Ed Warner, to get that room to that point. And Sharon Moore was able to maximize it in 2021. I think the same kind of thing can be said about Grant Newsom. The only thing is that he didn't have the 3-4 year starters to
yeah.
lean
He
on
didn't.
like
He didn't have seasoned players.
Give me another year, Crippen. Give me another year of El Hadi. You know what I'm saying? Give us another year of him working that room, and I'll be able to give a more honest assessment. I think he's still in a transitional phase where he has another coach's guys that he's trying to get on his system now, right?
Yeah,
He has a way of coaching. He has a way of delivering information. He has a way of doing things that he has to hone. He's a new offensive line coach. He has to hone his process. Let's see how he does this year. Now, if they start off slow this year, okay, I'm gonna be looking at Grant Newsom a little side eye because that'll be
because it's
2
gonna be
years in a
big
row.
next year.
Yeah, this
Next
is
year is
big.
big.
We need the offensive line to be a leader next year, like it's been in years past. So it'll be a big year for him.
Yeah, because if that offensive line isn't playing well, you really don't want Bryce back there. Even if he's ready, you kind of don't want him
Yeah,
back there. The offensive line is like this year's.
yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. Um, Anything in particular other than Jalen Milroe, obviously that's an obvious one. Anybody else that really scares you on the Bama side of things to
I
pay attention
mean, the phenom, Ryan Williams.
to? Mm-hmm.
The phenom. Is he still 17? Is he 18 yet? You
Yeah, I
know,
think him and Jeremiah Smith both 17, man.
so you want to give. You want to give him the same respect you gave Jeremiah Smith. To me, this dude is not only is he's a different animal than Jeremiah Smith. They're
I
both
think so.
really good, but they're really good in different ways. Jeremiah Smith is a freak of nature. He's gonna bully you and
Mhm.
and bully you all game. Like that's just what he does because he's huge.
Yep.
Ryan Williams is an athletic freak. Like he'll make a spectacular catch and then give you the do-si-do to your safety and your corner and whoever else, and then run 60 on you. Like so,
I also don't think that they need to run gadget plays to get him the ball. Sometimes I feel like
exactly.
Ohio State has to run gadget plays to get the ball to Jeremiah Smith. And it's so weird because it's like guys are giving him 7 yards. You won't throw him a now route. You won't throw him a hitch, a curl.
Mhm.
They don't work him into the normal confines of the route tree all the time. It just feels like he's running gadget plays, and they hit on him
Yeah.
most of the time because he's fast, he's big, like he's a bully. But Ryan Williams feels different in that, like you said, they just get the ball to him in so many different ways.
Yeah.
They can split him out wide, they put him in a bunch, they'll hand it off to him.
Yep.
But
Yep.
even within that, he's running regular routes and getting his work within the confines of the offense. It's not 1, 2, 3, JJ. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah. Save us, please.
Yeah. JJ jet sweep left, JJ jet sweep right. So yeah, I agree. Ryan Williams is going to be a tough cover. I think they have a similar game plan that they want to deploy against him. Obviously, don't give him that many one-on-one looks. Do not deploy the Tennessee game plan versus Jeremiah Smith at all.
Exactly.
No single high safeties. Then again, you may be able to do that a little bit more with Milrow than you were with Nico Maliava. I know those are, again, two different defenses, two different teams, but I think Milrow has kind of repeated some of the stuff that we got him to do in the Rose Bowl this year, where, it may be lesser talent, but you present a strong enough defense, you can
Yeah.
kind of keep Alabama in the hole for a while. So,
And I'm going the same game plan as last year. I'm
yeah.
blitzing off the bus. Shout out to Vance. Shout out to Vance Bedford on Michigan Insiders with Sam.
Yep. Don't just
Blitzing
sit
off the
back there and
bus.
let him pick you apart. Yeah. No. Go get him. Go get him.
Yeah.
Speed his clock up. Now, knowing
Exactly.
that, though, they've had a whole year to prepare for that. They know how Michigan beat them the last time. I
That's
think
true.
if they're smart, they're going to rely a lot on their hots, right? They're not going to rely so much on his legs to get them out of trouble. They're going to try and find holes in the defense. It'll be a nice little chess match. I expect Wink to come after him early, but then again, I expect Alabama to get the ball out fast and try to get to their hots. So now, what's the counter move if you're Wink Martindale? How do you start, maybe dialing back some of the pressure that you can play more coverage? Do you increase the pressure? Do you play more man? What's the counter move now that they're getting the ball out fast? So that'll be a nice little back and forth there between Kalen DeBoer and Wink Martindale.
Because if he answers back, like you said, hitting the hot routes, now it becomes a real headache for us.
Yeah.
Because you got to deal with that, him getting the ball out. So now you got to adjust. Now you still got to deal with him running. What's he going to be doing on the ground, which you never know. He could have 30 yards on the ground, or he could have almost 200 with this dude. Like, and so it's a headache. It can be a headache. I don't envy Wink having to deal with this dude.
No. Yeah, I would have much rather seen Jalen Milrow say, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and practice for the NFL draft. I'm going to practice for the combine, my pro day. Because, man, well, at least he's not hopefully he doesn't pull a Cam. Or, you know what, for us, hopefully he does pull a Cam Ward. Hopefully he do. He go in there, play the first half, and get out of there.
That's all I wanted to do. I just wanted the record, and I'm going to sit down. Okay.
That is absolutely ridiculous to me. Like, if you don't want to hurt yourself because you're getting ready to go to the NFL, still doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me because you played an entire season of football and made it through. But cool, then don't play in the game. You went out there and played the first half so you can get a record and then watched your team lose on the sidelines with your pads on.
To me, it's shameful to me.
It was very shameful. It's just to watch your team's lead dwindle away and watch them lose while you cheesing on the sidelines with your hands in your pads.
He was happy. He was so happy, bro. Like, and that's a problem to me as a coach. Some stuff you can't, like, bro, put a nip that in the bud. Like, bro, if you're gonna play, you're gonna play the whole game.
Yeah, you're gonna play. Yeah, thank you. You either gonna play or you not. Don't come to me with this. I'm gonna go ahead and get the passing TD record in the first half. Then I'm out. No, man, Cristobal, man. See, first of all, because that wasn't the only thing that happened during that game while they was losing to Iowa State. They had players fighting. They had a
I didn't
fight
see
break
that.
out on the sideline.
I didn't see that part.
Yeah, between but two teammates, a fist fight. Literally came fisticuffs. So I'm like, you got players fighting on the sidelines.
That's
You
wild.
got your star lottery quarterback quitting on you at halftime, and then you lost the game. Y'all remember all that shit Mario Cristobal was talking about the direction of his program and the direction of other programs in the state? It ain't
I'm
looking
in.
too good right now.
It's not, and I'll give Dion his credit with Shador and Shiloh
Oh,
and
they
Travis
were way
Hunter.
better than this. They was way
At
better than this.
least, yeah, they got their butt whoops, but
Mhm.
at least they played. Like we out
Yeah.
here,
Oh,
we
they played the
playing.
whole game. Yes.
I
Thank
know it.
you. Yeah.
We going down with the ship. Like, yeah, we all played bad, and us included. That's how you do it. I
Go
mean,
out here
because they
and
could have easily
play.
not played. They're top. They're like both top 10
Lottery
picks
picks.
probably.
Yeah, lottery picks.
So shout out to them. If you're gonna play, play. If you're not, sit out. Not
Yeah,
halfway.
my
What are we
commentary about
doing?
Colorado was kind of painted around how their season went and how hyped they were. But in terms of competing and going out there and landing on the line and trying to get a game, I respect Travis and Shador a lot more than I do Cam Ward. And that's their boy. I'm trying to figure out, y'all supposed to be cut from the same cloth. Y'all practicing with each other all off season. How they
Yeah.
going out there to play their game all the way through? You quitting through halftime.
And honestly, thinking about it, you would have thought Shador or Travis would have been the ones to just not even play in that game.
Mm.
You know,
Which I wouldn't have had a problem with. If you don't play all together, I'm good with that. But
yeah, me too.
the playing and then sitting out kind of just took it out for me. I was like, I don't even understand your argument because you could have the same way you could have got hurt in the second half of that game. You could have got hurt in the first half, so there was no reason for you to play at all.
Exactly. You want that record, bro? Finish the game.
Finish the
Like
game. Finish the game. That's
some of
it.
this stuff is disgusting to me. Like, bro, it's disgusting what's happening.
It's getting weird. It is getting weird. But that is got to get a prediction. If I'll be honest with you, a win in this game doesn't do a whole lot for me. I'm not going to be too mad or upset either way. Only if we get blown out. That'll be the only way I get mad.
Yeah,
I'm much more interested in the development of the young players and players we haven't seen this year. That being said, who do you got winning?
I'm gonna go with Michigan 20. I ain't expecting us to score that much. Let me 23-20. That
Okay.
sound about right.
All right. Yep, that's not bad. That's not bad. Same Michigan, but I'll go 24-17. Michigan, or excuse me, I've seen worse defenses hold Alabama to subpar offensive outputs this year. I think Michigan, even without a Will Johnson, without Kenneth and Mason, they should be able to do the same versus Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we got. You go ahead and give us your thoughts in the comments below. Again, like, share, subscribe. We're here every Tuesday with a new 30-minute rivals for you to consume. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell all your football fans. Johnny, let the folks know where they can find you.
Find me on YouTube, Johnny Olden Jr., doing pregame, postgame, car lives, lives through the week during the season, usually on a Sunday or Saturday. Marcus joins, and I do call-in shows. And you can catch me on
Royal
some of the
Rumbles. You do Royal Rumble calls between Ohio State and Michigan fans.
yes, sir. They are turning up. People seem to really enjoy those. So we're gonna keep that going. Add that in.
Sure.
Add that in. Nobody's really doing that, so I'm gonna add that in. But and yeah, you see me on. I've been doing a lot of Buckeye podcasts and stuff because I'm always watching. Now they want me to come up and talk. So
Yeah, man.
yeah.
Don't let them sink you in over there, man. Don't let them try to convert you.
No, that ain't. It's in my blood, brother. It's in my blood.
Sure.
It's Michigan.
Sure. All right, y'all. Well, it's been great. Come and check us out on another one next week. Stay safe.
Yes, sir.